In this video, you will find everything you should know before visiting Laos. This comprehensive travel guide will cover the essential information to ensure you have a safe, hassle-free and affordable trip to Laos. Hi, my name is Pete Greenhalgh, world traveller, adventurer, volunteer, grandfather and photographer, and welcome to my office on the banks of the Maroochy River, Queensland. I've been travelling the world since I was 18 years old, and through this channel I will share some of my experiences along with up-to-date information on various destinations. All I ask is for your support, and the easiest way to do that is hit the subscription and bell icon. It takes a second, it's free, and you will not be asked any personal information. So until we speak again, please. Good morning, and thanks for stopping by. Whenever you travel to another country, you do your research to find out what is required to enter the country, how to move around, best time of year to travel, and how their currency works, plus a whole lot of other stuff. In this travel guide, we'll be looking at everything you need to know to travel to Laos. Laos is a country in Central Southeast Asia, landlocked by Cambodia, China and Vietnam. A country where giant limestone walls look down on tranquil waterways. Buddhist monks once sought enlightenment in complete isolation. A land of untold beauty and profound cultural heritage that has been seriously overlooked as a tourist destination. There's a few ways to enter Laos, but I think most people enter the country via Wat International Airport in Vientiane, the capital city of Laos, located centrally on the Thai border. So let's talk about visas. Most countries can get a visa on arrival, and this costs around 60 Australian dollars or 40 US dollars. You can pay for your visa either in Laos Kip or US dollars. You may also be asked for a passport size photo of yourself at immigration. Another thing, if you're planning on entering through a land border, it is advisable to check that that entry point can process a visa on arrival. If not, you need to apply for an e-visa through a Laos consulate before travelling. So you've got your visa and you've entered the country. The next thing you want to do is get some money. If you want to exchange money that you already have on you, it is recommended only to exchange what you are going to need. In other words, don't over-exchange, because exchanging Laos kit back to different currencies can end up costing you heaps, because Lao kit has such a weak value. If you want to use an ATM, the ATMs I would recommend are BCell and JBL. ATM fees are quite cheap in Laos. Most transactions will cost you $1.60 Australian, which is even cheaper than Australia and most other Asian countries. You need to remember that Laos has a very low daily ATM withdrawal limit, around 50 Australian dollars to 145 Australian dollars per day. You should be aware of a few things when travelling to Laos. Laos is a Buddhist country and the people are very modest and reserved, so it is advisable not to run around in bikinis or shirtless in public. Driving in Laos is unlike driving in any other country in Asia. Lao drivers are intensely courteous. Excessive use of horns and road rage is rare. It is seen as losing face and frowned upon. Something else you should be aware of is that displays of affection are offensive to the Lao people, so please refrain from things like holding hands or kissing in public. Although some of these customs seem a little reserved and outdated, the people of Laos are super chilled. They love to socialise and have a few beers. They are super friendly, very kind and some of the most honest people on earth. So there are two seasons in Laos. There is the wet season from May to October and the dry season from November to April. The best time to visit Laos is just after the wet season in October to December. when the weather is driest and most consistent, and the waterfalls and lagoons look their best. Another reason to visit Laos in October is the Lantern Festival during this time. One of the best places to see this festival is La Prabang in the north of the country. You will definitely thank me if you go. There are a couple of things you need to keep in mind. It gets very cold in the months of December and January, especially in the north of the country. Also, be aware of the burning season, especially in the north of Laos. The burning season happens in late February and March and affects the visibility and air quality. Laos is a very cheap country to travel in, and you can get by with 25 to 30 Australian dollars per day per person on a budget. You can find a room in a guest house for as little as 16 Australian dollars per day, but you can also find basic accommodation for $8 Australian per night in a bungalow in some areas. Street food from places like markets is super cheap for things like sticky rice and barbecue meats. You can also eat a simple meal in a restaurant from $3 Australian, or can pay a little more for Western food or a meal in a nicer restaurant. Most attractions have a very small entry fee of around 2 to 3 Australian dollars. But if you want to be a little more adventurous like hiking, hot air ballooning, paragliding and that kind of stuff, expect to pay a little more, but they're still very affordable. One of the questions people ask, is Laos safe to travel? The short answer is, Laos is generally a safe country to visit, with little reported crime. However, travellers should exercise a degree of caution due to the increased concerns with food and drink spiking. You should also be aware of the dangers of landmines and unexploded munitions in isolated areas. Just check with your local authorities before you travel anywhere. When you think of Laos, most people think of a country covered in dense, thick jungle, which is far from the truth. Laos has changed quickly over the last few years with new roads, railways and a reliable communications network. Along with its scenic beauty, culture and warm, friendly people, Laos should be experienced at least once in your lifetime. So thanks for watching, and if you love travelling or learning about exotic countries, you owe it to yourself to subscribe to this channel so we can learn and experience this beautiful world together. So until we chat again, please stay safe and happy travels.